Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Welcome to my post-game reaction, the first in the longest while, Arsenal versus Man City. Listen, I did say, Arsenal weren't going to win. I said my prediction was a 3-1, so I guess I'll give that to Arsenal. But yeah, what a footballing lesson given to Arsenal. Really, it was boys against men or men against boys. So thank you for joining me, and I shall see you on this other side of this music intro for my post-game reaction: Arsenal versus Man City. Yes. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. It's my post-game reaction. Yeah, Arsenal versus Man City, and Man City. Even though I thought it was going to be, I thought the floodgates were going to open. Actually, I actually did. After the first goal in inside 90 seconds, 70 seconds, I thought, here we go. Yeah, I've taken my hat off. Yeah, there you go. You can see my bar on it now. But let's start with I try and start at for these post game reactions. It is at the starting 11. The starting 11. So let me put up the manager's place here first, whilst I'll look for the 11. And I found it here. So this was the starting 11. Leno in goal, Bellerin, Holding, Mari, Tierney, Elneny, Xhaka, Saka, Odegaard, Pepe, Auba. Shall I repeat again? Leno, Bellerin, Holding, Mari, Pablo Mari, Tierney, Elneny, Xhaka, Saka, Odegaard, Pepe, and Aubameyang. So that was the starting 11 there. And part of it I can understand, squad rotation. But again, I'm thinking, there's no point in putting out your strongest 11, really, unless you want to make a, a real statement of intent. Did you really want to go out and beat Man City, who we haven't beaten for the longest time? And I think now they're on 20, is it 21 or 20 unbeaten on the beaten run now? So what was your intention, Mikel Arteta? I'm not sure. But you've got to be mindful that we, like in 10th place, and we're playing against the Premier League champions in waiting, Man City. So I'll give them that. But when you go out, you want your team to if they're going to go down fighting, give your utmost. And I just got the impression that some of the players just weren't up. They weren't up for the fight. They weren't up for the fight. But anyway, so that was the starting 11 there. Yeah, and I got to hold my hand up. Didn't see Willian. Did not see Willian. And I thought, he's going to play. He will play. But he didn't play. Didn't play. Anyway, so like I said, I'm getting, ready. I had to go to the kitchen, came back, and I was just watching the repeat. Yeah. Within like 90 seconds, we continue to go. Point A, the pass from Mari for the guy's name is scored now. Forgot his name. Anyway, it was a wonderful pass. Oh my goodness! Sorry guys, I need to drink some water. For Raheem Sterling was a wonderful pass. But when you think about height and positional play, Holding is over 6 foot tall. I don't know how tall Bellerin is. Probably touching maybe 5'9", 5'10", 11, maybe a 5'9". And you've got Raheem Sterling, who's 5'7", 8 tall max, and he's out jumping our defenders there. No defender attacking that ball. You can't ask Leonard to come and attack or try and claim the ball there. That is for the defense to deal with it there. opened up like a can of worms. Leading up to it, you could see Bellingham try to jostle Raheem Sterling, but stick with your man. Better still, communicate to Rob Holding. But you know, I'll give Rob Man City. I mean, the pass from Raheem Sterling, from Mahrez was pinpoint fantastic. But I'm thinking, don't give away anything silly. Don't give away a goal. Keep everything nice and tight at the back. Inside 90 seconds, we're already one man down. I'm thinking, one man down, we're 1-0 down. I'm thinking, right, okay. So that is it. My prediction 3-1 is going to come to fruition. For the next 7 to 8 minutes, I just saw Man City just playing us off the park. It was as if they had like maybe 12 or 13 or 14 men against our 11. The movement, and all this without a striker, a recognised striker, because Aguero was, he was on the bench. You know, Gabriel Jesus was on the bench, but just the movement off the ball was a killer for us. And you look at how Arsenal were when we had the ball, you know, coming through their defence, there was no movement at all. No movement at all, which is why you saw the guys playing the ball, you know, from left to right, backwards. I was thinking, get the ball forward, but there was no movement in the midfield. What a contrast! Man City are a well-drilled machinery. I give them that, but you're playing at home. You come on the back of drawing with Benfica, and before that, you beat Leeds United 4-2. Where was the momentum? There was no momentum there. And I have said this so many times. I'm actually just, I probably need to get a book full of adjective to describe the performance of Arsenal, because I'm just failing. Actually, I don't have to look at and think about different adjectives, because more often than not, it's the same words I can use: lackluster, slow, unmotivated. All those words that I could probably use. Yeah, I maybe have a small word bank, or maybe 5 or 6 words to describe the performance of. It just wasn't good enough. Listen, I get the argument. Man City, they're a wonderful team, but turn up. Arsenal players, turn up, and you can't have it where 5 players are fighting and the other players are not. They don't have the passion or the fight. It's not going to work. You're already 5, 6 men down against Man City, and I'm actually surprised they didn't score more than just that solitary goal there. But the performance, again, I was just thinking, show some gumption. You're coming up against a oiled machinery, but show something. And the only players I could probably say that show me something, again, Bukayo Saka, wonderful. I didn't like the fact that he was like out, on the left hand side. Put Pepe on the left hand side, Saka on the right hand side. Don't be so rigid in that system, Mikel Arteta. Let them, play with a bit of more fluidity. And I thought, for a short period of time, let me just look at the movement of a Martin Odegaard, and I think he found this game today quite tough. It was quite tough for him, but I want to see either one or the other play. It's either Emma Smith Rowe plays for the first half, Odegaard plays for the second half. I don't want to see both of them play. And it was refreshing to see that Emma Smith Rowe came on, in place of Martin Odegaard. I would like to be the other way around. I wanted Emma Smith Rowe to start, but I didn't get that. But the lack of movement in the midfield, I was thinking, get the ball forward. But if you've got the ball and there's between yourself and the attacking Man City player, and there's no space there between the lines, who can you pass the ball to? You can only pass the ball to the closest teammate, and that is sideways. And that is a trademark of Mikel Arteta, that when we come out in the first half, we're at pedestrian pace. But that's 7 minutes, man. I was thinking, after they scored a goal, I was thinking, Arsenal couldn't get their foot on the ball. That the movement just killed us. And I'm really surprised that they didn't score or register, more than just that one goal there. Moss, the referee, I think he had an okay game. Um, Bellerin, Shaka, again, it's not got an agenda. The team didn't turn up. Aubameyang, hmm, what can I say? Aubameyang was like it was like a passenger to me, rather anonymous, quite anonymous. And Pepe as well was quite anonymous. You could see that he was trying, but for crying out loud, Arteta, start the guy on the left. We've seen him, probably play his best bit of football for Arsenal when revert to him back on the left hand side. But the system is just so rigid. If you can't change it, if you cannot, you know, I won't say react, because we should be dominating teams when they come to the Emirates. So if you don't have that, then we've already lost. We've already lost. And Lacazette came on, Ceballos came on. Who else came on? David Luiz came on. But even then, I was thinking when Lacazette came on, he hadn't touched the ball for about 5 minutes, 5-6 minutes. I think he probably had 2 touches, and that was it. Too little, too late. Anyway, let me get into the live chat for the first time this evening. Let's have a look. Don1982 says, useless. Such a bunch of unwilling, unwanting wasters. I've had enough of these players bluffing their way through the season. 4 or 5 players turn up and the rest still in bed. Brutal performance. That's it. See you at the end in the next season. Good evening, Alex. Good evening to you, Samboard. Color Kings says it's time to say goodbye to Arteta. Enough is enough. Time to say good. Oh, well, I think you've just said that, haven't you? So don't please don't spam the live chat, please. Ashley D, one of my moderators for the evening, says, "Yep, Gooners. Well, no surprises, and our passes were terrible. They were. Even when we were under no real pressure, passing the balls, maybe a 5-yard pass or 10-yard pass, we couldn't even do that. Couldn't even do that. 11 defeats in 25 games, not good enough for a club like Arsenal. Come next season, the team will be languishing in 13th place. Let's keep trusting the process. Relegation, here we come." Alex, Arsenal are losing by less goals now. I suppose that's improvement of some sort. Not for me. A loss is a loss. A loss is a loss. I mean, the history books won't say, "Oh, well, we're losing by less goals." The history books will say, on this day, Arsenal are lost, and they continue their worst record against Man City. I mean, yeah, I understand the small margins you're talking about, but for me, a loss is a loss. Always look on the bright side of life and all that. Odegaard, man of the match, end of. Oh, really, Des? Really? I thought Saka was. Every time now we concede in the first 4 minutes, maybe next time they can delay the kick-off for 5 minutes. Yeah, we might be all right. I don't think so. Scholastica says, what does Arteta teach his players in training? Is it how to pass backwards, how they can score? Are they going to score in their own net? But Scholastica, like I said, that wasn't so much the problem. The problem was in the midfield, the lack of movement. There's no real movement. I mean, I'm looking at, Shaka. I'm looking at, El Neni and Mane. They're looking. You can see they were looking, but there was no movement ahead of them. All I could see was just a sea of Man City forwards there. But when they had the ball, you could see the movement. The movement was there. So, well, don't smoke. I don't smoke. I don't smoke. Even Alex, how does a 5.6 guy score with his head? Yeah, 5'6" guy. Again, leading up to that, I mean, I was watching the live show. I was watching the stream. Ian Wright was saying, even to the build up, don't make it too easy for them. Push up on them, show Marty on the outsides, but that's happened. But then you don't let the cross come in, and you don't let a 5'7" guy head of the ball. Positional play, communication, everything that we're lacking in the defense. Everything. Holders must be like 6'1", and Bellerin maybe maximum 5'8" or 9, and yet Raheem, Sterling is just smack bang in the middle of them. A little bit of movement, and he headers the ball, drifts away from Leno, right top left hand corner. We should have a coach like Ancelotti, Brendan Rodgers, Tuchel in our club. Why the board is so well? Need to ask someone that. First half, we look scared of them. Yeah. Teams above us losing points, and we do the same. Our team won't finish much higher, if at all we move up. Yeah, I've said I don't like the fact that we seem to be asking other teams above us to, favors from them. Oh, if only this team can beat the closest club to us, and if we could get like 1 point from. Let's stop asking for favors and let's do the business ourselves. The club, because Arteta and the players, they got themselves in a situation. The best they can do is to first and foremost have the Emirates as a fortress. You can't be saying that these clubs, these teams come to the Emirates, and it's like a second home for them. So like we're like nomads. We don't have no home. You've got to make the Emirates a fortress. Horrendous. There's McLeod says Party has not played 3 games in a row to give what's that? I'm not sure, a go. Pepe should have been on the left. He should have been, but again, you want to see Mikel Arteta actually thinking, rather than be reacting, be proactive to the situation there. Change things up. The system, like I said this morning, is too rigid. The system's too rigid. Plus, we don't score from midfield enough. Yeah, I would love for us to have like a marauding midfielder who can take on players and do that killer pass. Thomas Partey. Well, oops. Alex, by changing Ollie for Emma Rowe, what tactically changed in the game that we were losing? Well, I'll say one thing for sure. I could see, no doubt, I could see Erdegaard, trying his best, but I just thought it went beyond him. The game was just passing him by. A lot of times I could see that he was asking for the ball. They did pass the ball to him, only for him to return the ball back, and then he was actually pointing to whether it's it was Shaka or any say pass it that way, and they didn't pass it that way. They passed it to a different direction. But tactically, I just couldn't see. Odegaard just couldn't get a foothold in the game, and that's what I'm saying to you. Let's not jump on the bandwagon and say we need to sign Odegaard. Let's see how things play out towards the end of the season. It's something more than from with form with Auba. Now, for me, he can go in the summer if he wants. No Arsenal players as good using head only when they went to score for Burnley. I always say the fact that there's probably there were the 2 players who are the strongest headers of the ball was for me Mustafi and David Luiz. There's no other players that are good at headering the ball. It's like when the ball's up in the air, thinking, "Oh my goodness, the ball's up in the air." No, no, you've got to try and claim the ball. I mean, again, I don't know what Mikel Arteta teaches the players. The ball goes up. You have to deal with the ball when it goes up, not only when it's on the ground. You've got to challenge for the ball. Arteta protects his players. He knew he wouldn't get away with William today. Don't think he'll get away with anything, actually. Yeah. So yeah, 1-0. I mean, I've got the artwork, quite wrong. Actually, it should have been 0-1 or 0-1 to Man City, and we didn't play at the Etihad. We played at the Emirates. Oops. Alex, like I said this morning, a defense. How is it possible to have, for the longest time, concede goals within the first couple of minutes? This is so annoying. A good grief, Arsenal sort it out. That was the only good thing about Mustafi. He would knock a few in with his head. Yeah, so probably the strongest header. Maybe him and maybe Socrates. But apart from that, this current crop of players are not good headers of the ball. They don't like when the ball's in the air. Aziz is who I was saying. All right, give him a go. Yeah, yeah. Did Arteta tell his players not to shoot from outside 18-yard box, especially Shaka? There was a few times when literally he could have had a shot on goal and he didn't for whatever reason. Oh well, at least one good thing has come out from today. Alex was taken off. And I got to shave. Listen, I'm back at work tomorrow. I'm back at work, almost like maybe almost 2.5 weeks. Away. Being isolating and contracted COVID. So I'm back at work tomorrow. Ideally, I'd like to stay home and concentrate on my digital services here. That will come. That will come. I have no fear. It was like a home game for City. Yeah, got to make the Emirates a fortress. I agree with Raz's comment. Even James says Arteta can go now and take Auburn holding along. But I thought Holding had a good game. Along with him, El Neni and Shaka. Odegaard was poor today. Saka couldn't pass. Yeah, I just again I understand the argument. We're played against the Premier League champions in waiting, but you want your team to turn up. You want your team, the players to make 5 or 10 yard passes. You want them to show some gumption. You want them to progress the ball as quick as possible. And this was the other thing as well. Yeah, we know how Man City plays. A high line, pressure up on us, and we're trying to beat the press. We beat the press only for us to progress the ball so slowly up the field to give Man City an opportunity to get back in position. So what was the point of beating the press? The point of beating the press is to progress the ball and make advantages in the spaces behind the press. So we're beating the press, whether it's through Bellerin or through Tierney, and then we progress the ball. So I was thinking, move the ball a lot quicker, get it through the lines a lot quicker. But I just didn't understand what we were trying to do. You beat in the pressure and the press. We've gone past that stage there, and then we progress the ball so slowly up the field, so slow that we give the Man City, players enough time to get back into position. Then what was the point of you? You're better just punting the ball up. It's gonna evening. Arteta is competing with bankers with a uni student budget. Cut cut him some slack. Forget the artwork, Ajax. They did feel at home actually. We didn't look like scoring, and my God, the referee must go to sleep with the whistle every time it was against us. I don't think the referee was Moss. I don't think he had that bad a game, to be honest. Everything again was of our own doing. You can't blame him for us conceding the goal inside 90 seconds. You can't blame him for that, Ralph. It was of our own doing. I'll say this, Essex Gunner. I don't like the fact that managers lose their jobs. And see how the fan bases across, the Premier League, or actually all clubs in England. I don't like the way that we treat our managers. Players don't perform, they don't turn up. Who gets it in the neck? It's the manager. I am Arteta in. That answers your question. Gilton is the only player that moves the ball forward. and Saka as well. And Saka's Man City really know how to find the pockets and break the lines on the pitch. Yeah, they do. They just, I tell you what, from the point they scored the goal right up until maybe the 8th minute, I was just thinking, wow, look at Man City. Arsenal could not get on the ball. Couldn't get on the ball. And I was thinking there was a disconnect with the players. If you're going to put pressure on the ball, you've got to put pressure on the ball as a unit. In ones or twos, it's not going to work. So the front three, put pressure on the ball. If you can't do that, then put pressure on the ball from the midfield. But the first 8 minutes, man, I was thinking, wow, Man City are on a different planet to Arsenal. But you want your players to turn up, put a tackle in, put an elbow in, do something. But is Arteta trying to play these players out of the club, Alex? I have no idea. I have no idea. The worst scenario or the best scenario is there's some rotation. You can't say that we're trying to make a charge for top four. Top four for Arsenal has long since gone. So the best thing we can do is maybe rotate the players. Try and beat Benfica in the second leg. But this Premier League for Arsenal, the season in the Premier League is over. It is over. The same ingredients, the same performances, or the lack of performances. We've seen that throughout the whole season. So I still see Mikel Arteta. He needs time, and he didn't play Willian today. So we can't say, Mikel Arteta, why did you play Willian? Because he didn't play Willian today. But Lugman Hassan says, we need someone to save this club, like the new owner. Well, Lugman, good evening. Thank you for coming in. We spoke about it this morning, actually, both my brother and myself on the morning show. It is time to have a new owner. I can feel it in my bones. Whether KSC can see it is another thing, but I can just feel that it's now time to have a new owner at Arsenal. If Bold or Keane were in a defence today, they would have a challenge for that ball, not Stan and what Sterling bury it. Yeah. I was going to say something about Tony Adams, but I can't see Mikel Arteta being that humble enough that he'd want like an Arsenal legend like Tony Adams to coach these defenders and literally just put a boot up their behinds. I don't think Mikel Arteta is that open-minded enough to welcome ex-players to come and coach these defenders. It won't happen. Their City find it easy when the opposition lay down and let them play. And that's exactly what happened this evening. Again, I understand Man City are sitting on top of the tree in the Premier League. I get that. But by goodness, You're playing at home. Show us some fight. And some of the players were found wanting. They were found wanting. And so it's kind of that. This is what I said during the transfer window last summer. I wasn't in favour of Arsenal signing any players. But then last summer you saw, Hosam Awaz, Sabitzer, Thomas Partey, Soboslai. All these players were linked with Arsenal. And all the while I was thinking, nah. Let's get rid of all the players that are clearly not going to make us to the next level. And then look for stability. So whether, the definition of stability means, right, okay, we've got players that we've gotten rid of. Now we're going to transition some players from the under 23s, get them playing, with each other. The club is in chaos. It's in chaos. In the summer, Arsenal got rid of 55 members of staff, and the majority of those were part of the scouting network. And I said, apart from that, I want to see stability at the club before anything else. And I still hold true to that. I'm happy that, Kolasinac has gone, Mustafi has gone. I still want to see Bellerin gone. I want to see Xhaka gone. I want to see David Luiz gone. But, we have to wait until the next available transfer window. And then there's been talk about Arsenal potentially offering David Luiz, a new contract extension. I'm telling you what, these players are going to be the death of us. They're the wrong type of players that Arsenal and Mikel Arteta are looking for. I thought Bellerin wasn't even at the races today. He looked so slow. The time is up on him. Why are you Arteta in? We lost more games last year. Essex Gunner, you've got to realise. You have to realise that the mentality of any club is dependent on the philosophy of the owner. So if we have an owner who doesn't care, couldn't give two tosses about what's happening, amongst the workers, that mentality will filter down amongst the employees. The employees won't care. They won't give a damn. And that's what you see at Arsenal. That's what you see at Arsenal is being played out. There's still players who they don't care because the attitude is indicative from the owner right down to the players and the players upwards. So unless we have an owner that really cares about Arsenal, and I'm talking about, someone who you can see, he's in the changing rooms, he's talking to the players, he himself comes out and talks about the future, that the vision that he has for Arsenal. And so until that changes, you're going to see a lot more of what's happening there. So Arteta has that to think about. Players he still has at Arsenal, they still don't care. We were asked a question this morning. Do I think the board are going to, support Mikel Arteta in the next transfer window? No, I don't think so. They don't care. There's no pressure on them. KSC owns Arsenal 100%. Sure, we have the Arsenal Supporters Trust, but they don't have to do, any AGMs. They don't have to tell us what's going on. So that is why I am Arteta in, even though we've lost. Okay, and I've said it so many times, in the past, that it's his process. He still has players that are not his. There's still players who should be shown the door. And, you have to factor in as well that the guy is inexperienced. I didn't employ him. He wasn't my choice. The board employed him. And so the same way I was Unai Emery in, I am Mikel Arteta in as well. Now, whether, player power, has a say, that is something different. But I'm Arteta in, even though I know that we've lost games. At least Spurs lost one positive. That's another positive, I think. Shocking performance. Pep was taking and asking his players to go easier on Arsenal. 11 losses, and it's only February. Emmanuel says, I don't understand why Arteta should be blamed for this loss. Arsenal was better against Man City this year than the previous year. Should we flush youngsters through and put our eggs in the Europa League basket? Well, like I said, Essex, we don't have the Premier League basket. We're not going to make it into top four. So the only basket we have is the Europa League. And going to the point about the youngsters, yeah. We're out of a shadow of a doubt. If the players are not responding to what you ask them to do, the best way is to drop them and put some of the youngsters from the under 23s. And there are some diamonds in the rough in the under 23s. But he played his adopted son Shaka, didn't give Martinelli a chance again. If Sunderland can get a billionaire owner, Arsenal must be able to. Weak manager, time to give somebody else a chance. DC Stones should barge Alba. That was what Arsenal should have been like from the get go. Lookman says Louis Cedric were laughing at Saka. Wasn't this players are divided? I'll say one thing for sure, Lugman, is that again I saw the same thing today. Who got badly injured and got taken off? Rob Holding. Were there any players around him asking him, you know what, man, are you okay? Do you think you're going to be all right? None of them show any compassion. They don't show compassion to each other. When your own man is down and injured, go over in a group or whatever, or the captain, go over and say, you know, man, are you okay? Do you think you're going to be all right? But I just don't see as if the players really care about each other. So going to your point, is there a division? There might be. There might be. Our passing is our weakness again today, as last Thursday. Giving it away too much. When we do get the ball, we must use it better and pass it better and pass it a lot quicker as well. Like I say, the pressure was so much on us. We're trying to, beat the press. We beat the press, and then we're so slow enough that the Man City players managed to get back into position. You're both just lugging the ball up. Leonard just hit the ball long. No, but actually, not that anyone's gonna header the ball, because no player at Arsenal in the current squad, they're all scared of headering the ball. Oh, it's in the air. Oh my goodness, they're waiting for it to come down. Then I'll try and deal with it. But I'm just thinking, if you're going to beat the press, pass the ball quickly, progress it, into the spaces behind. Arteta must be fired, always making mistakes. Alex, we are just short of about £6 billion to take a bid for KSC. Has anyone got like a spare £1 billion anywhere? Let us know. We can maybe do a GoFundMe page. We can buy Arsenal. Emery was sacked with less losses and a worse. Chris, good evening to you. Emery was sacked with less losses and a worse team than Arteta. So, what is so different about this manager? I have no idea. Here's a question. If we had the money to buy in the summer, who would you buy to replace? As we can see, buying is not working. All we seem to buy is unwanted team rejections. Well, again, I'm going to keep it, consistent. The message: I don't want us to buy any players. I don't want us to buy any players. You can see the understanding between Saka and Emma Smith Rowe. Why? Because they've come through the system together. That is so beautiful when you've got players who've got like a sixth sense where they know, all right, if I put the ball there, he's going to be there. So what I'm trying to get at is that I want to see a lot more of the youngsters come through the under 23s who have come through, grown up together, who have that sixth sense. I don't want Arsenal. I wouldn't want to spend any money on any players. Let's utilize the players we've got currently in the under 23s. Again, if players are not responding, then drop them. Drop them and transition in the young players. But I wouldn't, going to that question, I just don't want to see Arsenal spending money frivolously. Again, I'd far rather utilize the components we have, the youngsters, bring them through, transitioning them in, give them a few minutes, because we're not going to be relegated. We're not going to make it to the top four. So now is the right time. There's been clamour for Miguel Aziz to come through. Give him some minutes. Give him some minutes. How can a player not play a 4-1? You know what it is? Complacency. That's what it is. When you know, game in, game out, week in, week out, the £100,000 is going to be in your bank account. What is the motivation? Unless the manager can make it, plainly clear. You know what? If you're not performing, I'm going to drop you, and actually follow it through. Then you got players being complacent. Alba should have been. He should have been subbed today. He should have been subbed, but was he subbed? No, he wasn't. Complacency is a killer. It's a weak mentality issue, and the manager is to blame. Arteta is a poor manager. Emery was better. Yet some fans see that Arteta is the second coming of Pep. Clueless. I totally agree. Ingers. He's the Pep project. Dearie me. I can't blame Arteta for this loss. I didn't expect us to beat Man City. Neither did I. You're right. We only need to sign a left back in the summer. We need more players to leave Elneny, Willian, Louise, and Xhaka and Bellerin. And that's what I'm saying to you. I'll be secure in the knowledge to know when he has all his players that he can actually say, well, actually, you know what? This player, yeah, he's my player. That player, I chose him. When he's got his own squad of players there, that's when I'm going to really judge him and say, you know what, Arteta, you've done a fantastic job. Or actually, Arteta, you've asked for time, you've been given time, you've got your own players, and it's still not working out. So maybe we need to review your situation there. But until that time arrives, it's for me personally, it's still unfair to say, Arteta, you know what, Arteta this, Arteta that. Only a left back. We need a right back, CM, and second left back. Yeah. But surely, actually, what I'll probably try and do, sometime in the near future, is actually go through all the players who play currently in the under 23s and see which players surely should be given a few minutes in the Premier League. Because what you've highlighted there, and actually Cedric didn't get any minutes today, did he? Cedric should have played instead of Bellerin. But who's picking those players? It is Mikel Arteta. All the young players except Saka have got worse under Arteta. Even Martinelli and Guendouzi, no progression. But Martinelli, I can't see Martinelli. I know he, before he signed the contract extension, he said, like, oh, you know what? I want to stay at Arsenal. I want to become, a superstar at Arsenal. I can't see Martinelli staying at Arsenal beyond 5 years. If we don't give this guy an opportunity, somebody else will. He should be playing now. He's he's not injured. He should be coming off the left-hand side. Again, that's my view. If not him, it should be Pepe coming off the left-hand side. And Alba, you should still tell him and remind him he's still got to fight for his place. Yeah, okay, he scored a hat-trick. Should have scored 4, actually. But he didn't turn up against Benfica. Didn't turn up tonight. I'm telling you, complacency. Complacency. What is a realistic aim for Arsenal next season? Well, like we said before, stability. You know, the Premier League doesn't lie, man. If we are mid-table, because it means we are a mid-table team, nothing more and nothing less. But you know, next season we go again. Got to make a charge for top four. It might not happen, but I want to see a lot more players, you know, actually fighting for their place, and none of this, you know, this complacency. You know, play players who are on form. Don't play players who are on reputation. Alba has a fantastic reputation, but he's still misfiring. He's still misfiring. He shouldn't be, Essex. He should not be. Surely, if we lose against the Benfica, Arteta has to be sacked. We have nothing else to play for the rest of the season. Top four is long since gone. Yeah, I've said that. But Chris, if you sack Arteta after the Benfica game, you know, if we lose, who are you going to bring in? And that manager is going to want to have his own war chest. Does Arsenal have, you know, coffers to give to a new manager? And then the circle happens again. The new manager is going to favour certain players. You know, he won't favour other players. He too will want to bring in new players. So again, I'm asking the question again, Chris. If you sack Arteta now, the dynamics is going to change. What is that going to achieve? We'll forever be in that circle. Yeah. Orba is undroppable. But he should not be. He should not be. We've been on decline for 17 years since we moved to the Emirates and Kroenke became ownership. He killed the manager's reputation. Arteta out. We have better players than West Ham. Why is excuses showing up? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean. Yes, it's gonna. Alex, I'd have a Gunnosaurus ahead of the manager at the moment. I'm not even lying. Of course you're lying, man. I can't get Gunnosaurus. What is Gunnosaurus going to do for us? He's been sacked. what's he going to do? Can he play in midfield? Can Gunnosaurus play in midfield, Chris? Come on, Chris, man. Come on. How poor is Bellerin? How does he still get beyond me? Won't be dropped until we get rid of a Amaringas. Ah, dearie me. God, dearie me, man. Yeah. So anyway, today, we got beaten again by Man City. Again, the only thing I would have asked for would have been for the players to turn up. They didn't turn up today. They just rolled over. And just let Man City players just take them for the longest ride. Like I said, the first 7 to 8 minutes, I thought, wow, there is a footballing lesson for the players, man. Arsenal, the players could not get their foot on the ball. Best part of 7 to 8 minutes. I was thinking, wow. I'm almost done with this one, people. Really, I am almost done with this one. I'm going to quickly remind everyone that there is a 90-second link in the description box to a video. This video has, like I say, motivated and kind of changed my mind about life going forward. You know, actually, security, job security. So have a look at the 90-second video, which is in the description box. If you're thinking, what the hell was Alex talking about? Well, you've got to look at the video. Yeah, so only 90 seconds long. That's in my attention span, because I think anything beyond like 90 seconds, oh my goodness, you've just lost me. So have a look at that. If you're interested, send us an email, arsenalrepublic1@gmail.com. If you're not interested, then it's your loss. That's what I'm going to say anyway. Who else do we have here? No, Alex, it is a mess, and I'm sick of some fans still giving this man and his poor players a pass. It's your opinion, Ingers. I'm gonna have my opinion, but what I'm gonna say to you, Ingers, have a look at the email. Have you checked out the email that I sent you? Probably not. Sort it out, Ingers. Sort it out. We are done and dusted. This first post game reaction I've done for for the longest time under the circumstances. So thank you so very much, guys, for joining me. This lost. Well, yeah, it was a loss, wasn't it? On this latest post game reaction, Arsenal nil, Man City 1. I think we still lie in 10th place if memory serves me right. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can come and tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Chris, come on, Chris. In all seriousness, Alex, I'd bring in Mauricio Sarri. He's experienced and knows the league and is available. I did. Oh yeah, of course he's available, isn't he? But Chris, again, I ask you the question. What is it? What's it going to solve? You bring in Sardi. He's going to want to have his own war chest. He too is going to want to have his own players. He too is going to say, I actually don't fancy these players. Maybe it could be the players that you like. So what's it going to solve? What's it going to solve? Anyway, we're done and dusting on this one, and I'm going to go and chill out and watch a movie with the missus now. Yeah. Anyway, guys. Anyway. Thank you for joining me. And for those of you just tuning in for the first time, make sure it's not the last time, please. Subscribe to Canon 4 TV and hit the bell notification button so you can receive all the latest news right here on Canon 4 TV. And if by chance you've been wondering who or what you've been listening to, well, you've been listening to Canon 4 TV, of course, the channel for Arsenal fans.